5. We're waiting for things to happen online. We're waiting for things to happen online. Ooh, ee, ee, Alright, come on Twitch, let's go. Okay, welcome to the chat room. Alright, there I am. I'm live. On Twitch at least. Okay, chat settings, come on now. I clicked on the thing. I clicked on chat settings. Come on, you're starting to annoy me now. There it is. Okay. Scrolling down. Or I guess in this case we have to use the sidebar. And where's pop out chat? My favorite thing that makes this lag so much, trying to find that dang pop out chat toggle. There it is. Okay, boink. Throw that on monitor over here. Alright, closing out of Twitch. Kaboom. Now, YouTube. Just got to get the YouTube chat up, and then I can start doing the thing that I was intending to do this whole time. And YouTube, because I use an ad blocker, is going to drag all across the floor, taking its dear old sweet time, because that's what they're doing nowadays. Alright, so over here, while YouTube's being dumb, maximize the Twitch chat. Click. There we are. Okay. Greetings to the one person watching this presently. Just give me one moment here, and I'll explain everything that's going on. I just got to get the chat popped up. Wait a minute. Is there no sound? Maximize the Twitch chat. Okay, no, there's sound. Good. Just mute the YouTube. Don't worry, things are gonna make sense here in a minute to whomever it is who's actually watching right now. All right. Oh, hello, Poop and the Turd. Happy Spooky Month. Right back at you, dude. All right, now get the chat thing open, and for all the other viewers. Greetings, boils, ghouls, not GHP, OULs, and all other macabre manner of being! Exclamation point. Then we shift copy, Control C, send that off, and go over to the Twitch chat. Copy, paste that same message. Boom. All right, and we're off to the races. All right, so go ahead and adjust my light there so I can actually see the screen. Okay. So, to everyone watching, everyone and anyone, I'm just going to turn this light off and move it completely out of the way. There. Now I can actually see. Okay. So to explain what's going on here, yours ghoulie is going to be putting together an old Halloween decoration from my youth. Because you see, this year I procured one vintage Sun Hill 6-foot-tall pumpkin man. And well, for old time's sake, for the sake of nostalgia, I decided that I was going to put it out this year. So, I figured today was the day to put it together, and initially, the reason why everything was already out in the open and stuff is because I was going to record this as a YouTube video, just, one of my standard greetings friendos kind of things. But then I was like, since I'm already using the webcam, and I've already got OBS open anyway recording this, why not make a stream out of it? So here we are. Anyway, so at the moment I'm putting together this old decoration using the original instruction sheet which came with the thing. And step 1 is to stuff the head and the torso. It says to use newspaper, but what I'm doing, since I spent the majority of the year hoarding the stuff and whatever, I'm going to be filling it with polyfill, like a big rag doll. And I mean, I've got a lot of the stuff that I've been picking up at the thrift stores, or the thrift store, over the course of the year. Now on that note, time to get things underway. So how are you doing today, Poopin', if you're still there? Awesome. I'm glad you feel the same way. I'm hoping I've got enough of this stuff because I'm not sure how much fluff it's going to take to fill him. That's lovely. I'm already getting little fibers in my throat. Let's see, is that enough for the head? Not quite, but we're almost there. Still needs just a little bit. Yeah, just another handful or two. Don't want to go using too much on the head because I've still got the rest of the body to fill. To polyfill, that is. Oh, yuck, 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 yuck. Still, you know what? Let me see if this will do the trick. Shove the rest of the bag in there. And of course, that did the trick. We used to sew a shirt and pants together and set pumpkins on top for heads. My family's done the same thing, or at least something similar. Alright, so that's the head put together. And it took an entire bag of polyfill, which does not fill me with confidence for the rest. Oopsies! But anyway, there's the head, all ready and raring to go. Whoops. Filled with leaves from the yard. I could see that working. Now for this particular fella, it says to fill him up with newspaper. But the one thing I could see being a problem with using leaves is, you know, over the course of the season they rot. And I'm going to guess by the end of the season, you guys had to throw those things away. And these twist ties are also vintage from 1995 along with the rest of this thing because they came from the same packaging. Let me check a thing here. Stuff the body, crumpled paper. If newsprint shows through, the paper towels inside. So the head look around there, get air in the bag, tied closed with twist ties. Okay. do as I do with our usual trash bags and with our bags of bread and stuff. You twist it. Oh, that didn't work out quite as I planned. Let's try that again. Get all the corners together. Like so, and we twist it. Ha. And twist tie number 1 goes in place. Let's sucker as tight on there as I can. Twist, and there we go. One Sunhill Pumpkin Man head ready to go. Set that off to the side, and we begin work on the torso, the biggest piece. Ta-da. Now for this one, I'm just going to use the big bag of polyfill, because if the head took an entire bag, this is going to take at least an entire bag. So have you started decorating yet, Poopin'? Or are you holding off on that? Ah. The certified polyfill stuffing tool. It was down right in the center of this thing, so I didn't see it, and I thought, honestly, that the polyfill company had forgotten to put one in there. Nice. Not that I'm going to need it for this. Decorate the house for Halloween with lots of ghosts and ghouls and creepy crawly things. Well, that's a sight that's filling me with hope. We've only used like maybe a third of the bag of polyfill, and we've already almost filled up the torso. Let's see, so that's going to be enough. I just realized I actually printed on this thing what ends what. Right here in black print. Neck, 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 neck. You don't say. I thought this was the neck. Well, who knew? Feels like we got a bit of a leak down at the bottom. Now where did I... oh, there they are. Yeah. my family actually had one of these goofy things back when I was a child. And yours Ghoulie knew that we didn't have a whole lot of newspaper and stuff, so what I did, being the bad little student that I was, I wound up taking one of those, one of those stupid school paper binder things they used to have, the book with math equations and stuff to take home and do as your homework. And, well, I wound up taking that thing, tearing it apart, crumpling up all those stupid pages, and shoving them down into the thing to make ours. Then we fast forward like a week and a half and, oh no, I haven't been turning in my homework. Well, the joke was on me, because when my father found out, I won't go into too great detail on him, but when my father found out, that scarecrow got ripped into pieces, all the homework sheets were straightened out, and guess who was forced to do the homework that was, originally stuffed and crumpled into that stupid paper, that stupid piece of plastic, because I didn't want to do it. But anyway, so that's the head and the torso stuffed. Let's see what they look like together so far. Looking good, my friend. He's looking good already. And look at that award-winning smile. Alright, so we put the head and the torso over on the floor, and we start working on the limbs. Okay, so let's see, oh, right, we're following the instructions to the letter, aside from, using polyfill instead of newspaper. Using crumpled paper, polyfill, thank you, stuff the arms and legs halfway. Tie closed with twist ties, finish stuffing arms and legs, and tie closed at the end of clothing with twist ties, as in figure 2. Okay, that should be easy enough. Alright, on to step 2. Now, alright, if anyone's still watching, should I go for the arms next, or the legs? What do you think? Should we give Harold his arms or his legs next? And while I'm waiting, I'm going to get myself a drink, because those stupid polyfill fibers are tickling the hell out of my throat. And also, while I'm waiting, I will grab the limbs, arm and leg. Then the other arm and the other leg. Well, it would appear that Poopin' the Turd has wandered off elsewhere. So, I shall be making the decision myself. And I think I'm going to start by giving Harold his legs. But first, I need to go get a thing. Be right back, folks. I have returned. And the item that I procured was the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark treasury. For one very specific reason. A little friend here reminds me of a story. Now let me see if I can find it real quick. Oh, come on. Oh, wait a minute. That's right, that's right. They're in order. That's the end of book 1. Okay, now, is it in this one? That's what I did with our dang letter opener. I left it in this book. Been looking for this thing for months. Okay. Okay, so it's not in that book. So it's definitely got to be in the third book. Okay, so there it is. Page 30 of Even More Scary Stories to Chill Your Bones. Page 30. Okay, scrolling, flipping through the pages, right. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get the goofball back in frame before I read the story. No, you don't. Come on. There we go. Okay. From More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. No. From Scary Stories 3, More Scary Stories to Chill Your Bones. We have the story of Harold. Interesting that I say that in the Twitch, or not the Twitch, the stream twitches like that and has a little freak out. When it got hot in the valley, Thomas and Alfred drove their cows up to a cool green pasture in the mountains to graze. Story's not that boring. Dolt, come here. He lost his head at that. Okay. He almost lost his torso at that. My oh my. You are going to sit there, nice and still and patient, and you are going to listen to the story. No, you don't. I see what you're trying to do. That'll work. When it got hot in the valley, Thomas and Alfred drove their cows up to a cool green pasture in the mountains to graze. Usually they stayed there with the cows for 2 months. Then they brought them down to the valley again. The work was easy enough, but oh, it was boring. All day the 2 men tended their cows. At night, they went back to their hut where they lived. They ate supper and worked in the garden and went to sleep. It always was the same. Then Thomas had an idea that changed everything. "Let's make a doll the size of a man," he said. "It would be fun to make, and we could put it in the garden to scare away the birds." "It should look like Harold," Alfred said. Harold was a farmer they both hated. They made the doll out of old sacks stuffed with straw. They gave it a pointy nose like Harold's, and tiny eyes like his. Then they added dark hair and a twisted frown. Of course, they also gave it Harold's name. Each morning on the way to the pasture, they tied Harold to a pole in the garden to scare away the birds. And each night they brought him inside so that he wouldn't get ruined if it rained. When they were feeling playful, they would talk to him. One of them might say, "How are the vegetables growing today, Harold?" And the other, making believe that he was Harold, would answer in a crazy voice, "Very slowly." They both would laugh, but not Harold. Whenever something went wrong, they took it out on Harold. They would curse at him, kick him, punch him. Sometimes one of them would take the food that they were eating, which they were both sick of, and smear it on the doll's face. "How do you like that stew, Harold?" he would ask. "Well, you'd better eat it, or else." No, you don't. I swear this guy would lose his head if it wasn't attached. And it isn't yet. Oh, come on, you dog. Just stay. Stay. Well, you better eat it, or else. Then the two men would howl with laughter. One night after Thomas had wiped Harold's face with food, Harold grunted. "Did you hear that?" Alfred asked. "It was Harold," Thomas said. "I was watching him when it happened. I can't believe it." "How could he grunt?" Alfred asked. "He's just a sack of straw. It's not possible." "Let's throw him in the fire," said Thomas, "and that will be that." "Let's not do anything stupid," said Alfred. "We don't know what's going on. When we move the cows down, we'll leave him behind. For now, let's just keep an eye on him." So they left Harold sitting in the corner of the hut. They didn't talk to him or take him outside anymore, and now and then the doll grunted, but that was all. After a few days, they decided there was nothing to be afraid of. Maybe a mouse or some insects had gotten inside of Harold and were making those noises. So Thomas and Alfred went back to their old ways. Each morning they put Harold out in the garden, and each night they brought him back into the hut. When they were feeling playful, they joked with him. When they were feeling mean, they treated him as badly as ever. One night, Alfred noticed something that frightened him. "Harold is growing," he said. "I was thinking the same thing," Thomas said. "Maybe it's just our imagination," Alfred replied. "We've been up here on this mountain for too long." The next morning, while they were eating, Harold stood up and walked out of the hut. He climbed up onto the roof and trotted back and forth like a horse on its hind legs, something akin to this. Back and forth like a horse on its hind legs. And all day and all night he trotted like that. In the morning, Harold climbed down and stood in a far corner of the pasture. The men had no idea what he would do next. They were afraid. They decided to take the cows down into the valley that same day. When they left, Harold was nowhere in sight. They felt as if they had escaped a great danger and began joking and singing. But when they had gotten only a mile or two, they realized that they had forgotten to bring the milking stools. Neither one wanted to go back for them, but the stools would cost a lot to replace. "There really is nothing to be afraid of," they told one another. "After all, what could a doll do?" They drew straws to see which one would go back. It was Thomas. "I'll catch up with you," he said, and Alfred walked on toward the valley. When Alfred came to a rise in the path, he looked back for Thomas. He did not see him anywhere, but he did see Harold. The doll was on the roof of the hut again. As Alfred watched, Harold kneeled and stretched out a bloody skin to dry in the sun. And that's what this dork reminds me of. The Sunhill Pumpkin Man that we're going to name Harold. And we'll see what comes of that, won't we? Now then, Excuse me, Harold. I need that chair so I can put your limbs together. Okay, so let's see. Let's go ahead and start with the arms. I am being silly. Just a little swish like that, and voila. All the way up in there, just like that. Got one more handful, and then I can twist off the first half, just like they say to do in the instructions. Yeah, that looks about half right there. Twist and twist tie. Now we fill the other half of the arm. Do just nicely. And we twist off the end, and we add another twist tie. Now, one instruction that I saw for later on in this is to take a pair of scissors and kind of cut this end so it more resembles straw, but I'm not going to be doing that for the sake of preserving the, shall we say, artifact of the 90s. And lo and behold, we now have one arm complete and ready to go. Here you go, Harold. Let me give you a hand. All right. Enough fun and games for the moment. Harold dropped his legs, and he's not even attached to them. All right. Come on, open up. There we go. Let's see, are we still connected? Yep. Our kilobytes per second are fairly low, but we're connected. We're still on the air. that up to the top of the limb. Now let's compare it to the one that we've already got done. I think one more little handful, then we can cinch that one off. It's like, how much is... Yeah, that should be enough right there. I want to try and make them even, you know. Wouldn't want to have a lopsided herald. Yeah. Twist it around. And we apply the next twist tie. That, and double check that that is about the same, and it is. Good, good, good. Now we fill up his forearm. Too much more than this. Yeah. Now twist tie number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Harold's arms are now ready and raring to go. There you go, buddy. Now for the legs, which I believe it said to do the same thing with those limbs. Using crumpled paper, stuff the arms and legs. Yep, arms and legs halfway, tie closed with twist ties. Finish stuffing arms and legs and tie closed at the end of the clothing with twist ties. Alright. So let's do that very thing. So how close are these to my actual legs? In the moment, they're actually quite close because they're right next to them. Yeah. Alright, so let's see. Gonna stuff it to about the halfway point like it says, which is actually right about where my knee would be. Set those up there. Come on. Come on. There we go. make sure that's shoved up in there nice and firm. Let's see, is that about halfway? Starting from the hip. Yeah, that looks about half. Alright. I just noticed it's got that same kind of printing like on the neck of that. Legs, 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 legs. Alright, now, next twist tie coming up. Ooh. Ta-da. My apologies to anyone just now tuning in and all you're seeing is this. It's probably not the most entertaining of things to watch, but it's what I chose to do with my day today. Alright. So we've got the thigh done. Now we're on to filling up the shin and the calf. And looking at it now, I think I'm actually going to add more of this stuffing to the head because it looks very vertical. It's not very rounded. Yeah, that should do just nicely right there. He's going to have some very long hips and some very short, stubby little calves. But oh well, nobody's perfect, am I right, folks? Hell, yours ghoulie is mostly leg. Like, legitimately, no joke. The top of my pelvis ends here, or just below this, accounting for, like, you know, padding from fat and muscle inside there. That. And twist it around the other way, like that. These twist ties are so dang long. I'm grateful for it, but dang. Alright, leg number 1 has been completed. It got a lot shorter after I added the polyfill. Now we hold on to leg number 2 so that we can do the comparison as we go. Alright. Yeah. same as the other leg. I need just a little more filling. Would that be enough? Yeah, there we go. So greetings, boils, ghouls, and anyone else happening to tune into the stream just now, and welcome. This isn't my usual kind of content, but I figured since this was going to be a time-consuming effort, and since I already had the webcam set up to just do a recorded video of this, I might as well stream it. Now let's fill the lower half of this leg. Now let's see. Is that matching up with the other leg still? Yes. Okay. Twist, twist, twist. And then we twist tie. All right. That's the legs completed. For our little friend, or should I say our not so little friend, Harold, the Sun Hill Pumpkin Man. So as I said previously, I'm going to be adding just a bit more stuffing to the head, now that I know that I've got enough for it. And then we're going to build ourselves a trash bag scarecrow from 1995. Won't this be exciting? Seems like the further along I went with this, the more intricate I tried to make the twists of the twist ties. I'm going to use more of the old stuff for the head. I'm curious, is there a year on this? Dang, this one's older than I thought. This particular bag of fluff for stuffing stuffed animals. Oh, hello, Mr. Snerd. Hope I'm having a good day. Right back at you, buddy. How you doing? Well, this particular bag of fluff is from 1979, if that copyright is to be believed. And I'm curious what the copyright year on the other one was. If it's labeled, that is. For whatever reason, this kind of silly stuff fascinates me. Let's see, from Joanne Fabrics. there a year on this? Of course it doesn't say. Oh well. Anyway. Ooh. This stuff's actually nice and fluffy. In which case, I'm actually not going to use this bag because it's too nice and fluffy. Mr. Snerd says, "What am I building?" I'm actually glad you asked, Mr. Snerd, because I'm building this. A 1995 Sun Hill 6-foot-tall pumpkin man. I'm putting the finishing touches on it, as a matter of fact. Or at least I'm putting the finishing touches on one of the parts. How did I get it? I went to my favorite resource, Facebook Marketplace. I want to kind of keep him with more of a rounded feature, so I'm not going to squish out the air like I just did. There we go. There we go, that's better. Now his head's more round than it was cylindrical. I actually think one more handful of polyfill ought to do it. A bigger handful than that. Come on now. Now let's get a look at you. That's my boy. There he is. He's 30 years old and still in his prime. Twist. Oop, side of the bag came undone. To get the whole thing. Don't want there to be any air pockets for bugs to get in. There. So how you doing today, Mr. Snerd? Are you going to do a house tour one day? I've thought about it, but I'm not sure. Like in most of my videos, y'all have seen the majority of my house already. There we are. Now it's time to start building this orange son of a gun. And thankfully, I had more than enough of that polyfill to do the job. I wasn't sure how much it was going to take, so I was just gathering bags upon bags upon bags upon bags of the stuff, hoping it would be enough. It only took me, well, it only took me about a bag and a half. I'm doing quite good, actually. I came home from school and saw you streaming, so I decided to watch. Well, I appreciate that. And I'm also glad you're doing well. Now, back to the instruction page. Okay, so step one, stuff the head and the body. No, you don't. Stuff head and body. Step two, stuff the arms and legs. Done and Done. Come on now. Stop fighting me. Just work with me, dang it. Stay. Stuff arms and legs. Check, check. Step 3, cut strips for hands and feet. I'm not going to be doing that to preserve the, shall we say, the artifact. 4, attach legs to body. Take 2 twist ties. These. 2 twist ties. And cut in half. Nope, I'm not going to be cutting them. Strip the paper 2 inches down so the wire is exposed on all 4 pieces. Again, nope, I'm not going to be doing that. With the wire end, poke a hole through the top of the leg. Okay. And I don't actually, well actually, yes, I do have to do that. Rats. Okay. So, onto the floor with everything. Actually, no, over there onto the bags of polyfill with everything. Except for the legs. And the torso, which is now a glorified bag of polyfill. And the head. Okay. Now, let's see. Attaching the legs to the body. Okay, I guess I am actually, for the sake of it, going to be following the instrucciones. At least in this regard. Now, did it say to use 1 or 2 of these silly things? 2 twist ties. Good thing they gave me plenty of spares. Alright, like that. 4 subs away from 700. You got that right. I'm hoping by the end of Oktoberfest, if not sooner, I'm going to hit the 700 club and then onward and upward for the rest of the year from there. Now we attached blah, and we cut them in half. And thankfully I still have some scissors down here, so let's do this thing, as much as I really don't want to try and preserve as much of this thing as possible. Gotta follow the instructions. Alright, the twist ties have been cut in half. For my next trick, let's see, when you said you got that right, is that what Slappy said in one scene to Amy when he said, "You got that right, kiddo"? Honestly, I'm not sure. It's been a little bit too long since I've seen... I think that was Night of the Living Dummy 2. Now, Harold, be patient. We're working on putting you together. Alright, so back to this for the moment. Attach the legs, cut the twist ties in half, strip the wire end. Now strip the paper 2 inches down to wire, so wire is exposed on all 4 pieces. Okay, so it says 2 inches. So, got our handy dandy tape measure. So, find about where 2 inches is. I'm just going to use 1 for this and then do the same with the rest. Alright. Oh, this is going to be easier than I thought it would be. Or is it? Let's see. Start a trash pile on this copy of Parasite Eve over here. Close enough. And now I get to repeat this process with these three. There's nothing to it but to do it. Do, do, do. Okay, it's one, which I still need so I can properly assess where to rip the paper. Now we've come to the slow portion of the video. There we go, that's two ready to go. Three. And finally, we're on to number 4. Come on, come off of there. There we are. I'll double check with the old tape measure and make sure it is actually as much as it's supposed to be. Not quite. But whatever, it's close enough. I wasted enough video, enough of the stream time working on that. There we are, prepped and ready to go. Okay, 2 inches down from the wire to expose on all 4 pieces, check. In Night of the Living Dummy 3, when they used the puppet, they also used a person in a costume, and it looks really fake in the close-up scenes. I will admit, it really does. Because like his head is way too big, Slappy as the puppet kind of has a long, thin neck, whereas the person in costume is running around like this.
Well, so you want to be a prankster, do you, Zane? Well, let me show you how the pros do it.
It just looks kooky and funny. So now then. So the wire is exposed on all 4 pieces. With the wire end, poke a hole through the top of the leg on the left side and sew through the body, and do the same on the right. Oh, okay, I see it now. I get it. I get it. Alright. So before I get much farther than this, since the arms have the same kind of a way they're supposed to be attached, I'm just going to jump ahead real quick, and I am going to prep the next set of these for the arms, because the instructions say to do the same thing for them as we did with the legs. That. arms just about at the halfway point. Then rip the paper off 2 inches to expose the wire. Whoop. Oh, come here. Come here. I've almost got you. There we go. I wonder where the real... Mr. Snerd says, I wonder where the real Slappy puppet is from the one they used in the show. I've did some research, but still can't find it. Well, according to what I've heard from the Goosebumps Crew podcast here on YouTube, apparently when Sony bought the rights to Goosebumps so that they could make the movies, the original puppet was basically someone at Universal, well, whoever bought the rights to it, I've forgotten at this point. I'm a bit distracted. Wound up taking that puppet, along with a bunch of other things, from the studio of the guy who bought it, or who made it, I should say. And we don't know where they are presently. I'm not sure if they did the same with Rocky. Also in Bride of the Living Dummy, Slappy is small, but in Night of the Living Dummy 3, he is so big that they might have made 2 Slappies, and then they just got Slappy's head put on a bigger body. That is also possible. Or it might just be that the actor that got to play Slappy in Night of the Living Dummy, Bride of the Living Dummy, was smaller? You'll have to remind me, did they actually have an actor run around as Slappy in that one, or was that only in Night of the Living Dummy 3? That's one. That's 2. Only in Night of the Living Dummy 3. Okay, I thought so. Because in the spots in Bride of the Living Dummy, especially the ones where he's standing, it's literally just the puppet himself. Just this last one to go. Oh, Mr. Snerd, speaking of Slappy the Dummy, did you see that they're going to be making a book-accurate Slappy ventriloquist puppet for sale that's going to be coming out this year? And by book accurate, I mean he's going to look like the one on the cover of the books. And by that I mean he's going to look more like that than, you know, the commercially released Slappy, like I have over there. Get myself distracted for a moment. Okay, back to this. 2 inches down so the wire is exposed on all 4 pieces. Check with the wire end. Poke a hole through the top of the leg on the left side and sew wire through end. Or sew wire through body. Do the same on the right. I've seen it on YouTube. I've seen it on YouTube. It's really cool. Excellent. And speaking of that, I, having seen the same thing and having checked out the dimensions that they said on the website that's going to be selling them, I did a little bit of research and I've basically figured out how big that Slappy is going to be. That particular puppet is going to be roughly, excuse me, little puppet pal, it's going to be roughly the same size as little Lester here. Let me back up a little bit so he's fully in frame. Bring him up. Now Lester here is on the smaller side for one of these kind of puppets, and by that I mean, let's go ahead and dare to compare him size-wise to this Charlie McCarthy. Let me just do like this. So the new Slappy puppet is going to be a little bit small, but I think they did that intentionally because on the book cover for Night of the Living Dummy 2, I think it is, the one where he's sitting on the bed, he's a fairly small little puppet according to that artwork. While I get these guys put back up on the shelf. I used to have a Lester doll, but its head fell off, so now I only have the head. You've got me curious. What happened to the body on that Lester? Did you just throw it away because the head fell off? Time to do some surgery. Yes. So it wants me to start on the left side. So go ahead and poke this through the material like that. I have no idea what happened to the body. I was 7, no 8. Okay, no worries, I was just curious. Now's the tricky part, because I'm a bit of a, what do you call it, perfectionist. And I don't want to do any undue damage to this thing. Let's see, did I do that right? It would appear so. Just to hold it on, I'm going to do a tentative little twist like that. And now for twist tie number 2. Okay, that. And oh, this is going to be interesting. Okay, so I stuffed the body a little too well. There we go. Okay, I got it. I got it. Okay. What puppet was? Oh, what puppet was I got in 2004? It was actually that same Charlie McCarthy I just showed off. Alright, our pumpkin man now has a leg, and as I did that, the friggin' thing came undone. Drat. Where's the hole on the other side? There. Okay. Now for the second and final time. He's got a leg. Woo! Oh. Now we can work on attaching the other one. Also, the same happened to my Charlie McCarthy hat. It got cracked. Yeah, unfortunately those things are made of a really thin, really brittle kind of plastic. So that happened to mine, but also my sister, back at that point in time, she had a guinea pig. And I made the mistake of leaving the hat on my bed when she decided to bring her guinea pig into my bedroom. And, you know, guinea pigs like to chew on things because they're little rodents, and it chewed a hole in the side of the top of his hat. Was not happy about that, but c'est la vie, such is life. Alright, now let's get leg number 2 and get this thing started all over again. Son of a... Okay. You want to play rough, do ya? There's hole number 1. There we go. Got it. Alright. Leg number 2 is now half attached, and that probably looked, well, okay, good, it's out of frame. That would have looked awkward as hell, considering. Behold, the Pumpkin Man has legs! 2 of them, even. He's really coming together now. The tie on that side slipped. So let's go ahead and remedy that real quick. Wonder when Elia is going to join? That's anybody's guess. Honestly, I'm just glad anyone's watching. Seems like unless I'm doing a video about puppets or doing some kind of a let's play, people don't usually care to tune in. There. Okay. Now the legs are a little more securely attached. Now let's get those arms on. Because apparently it's the same exact thing as with the legs. Only, you know, higher up on the torso. Alright. Other 4 twist ties at the ready. Let's see, I'm going to take a look at the picture on the packaging and see if I can get an idea. Okay, so the arms are supposed to be attached kind of like this, it seems. Let me double check the instructions because it might actually specify. Attach arms to body at shoulder the same way the legs were attached in figure 5. Okay, yes. Good, good. So now, start with this. Okay. Poke that through the plastic. I feel kind of like I'm in that scene out of When Good Ghouls Go Bad, when the kids were putting Christopher Lloyd back together with screws. Okay, there's arm number 1 started. Aha, right there. So, Mr. Snerd, how many puppets do you own? I figure since you asked me so many questions about mine, I may as well ask you at least one about your own. Do you want me to upscale your profile picture, make it better quality? I appreciate it, but no thank you. I mean, you can if you want, but you don't have to. Now we're really getting somewhere, folks. The Pumpkin Man has an arm. And what harm could an arm do, really? Alright, now we just turn him around. And I get to rig up the other arm next. See, with my ventriloquist dummies, I've got 8. And with puppets, I have over 17. Nice. A very respectable collection. And then on this side. The lapel is there. So did I do that on the other side? So you have any other questions? Do I have any other questions I would like to ask you? Yes. What is your favorite puppet in your collection? One moment, Mr. Snerd. I just saw that you commented. Focus for a moment. Take some pressure off of that joint. Now let's see what you said. My favorite puppet is Mortimer Snerd. I don't know, something about him is just so cool and fascinating. Trust me, I understand. If you put a Charlie McCarthy suit on him, he almost has that television slappy kind of vibe going. Another question for you. Since you said that you still have the heads for a couple of your puppets, have you ever thought about, like I'm doing here with Harold, as I'm going to call him, have you ever thought about like making a new body for them? It's actually not as hard as it sounds. One moment there, Mr. Snurd. I just saw your message. Well, messages. I saw a second one pop up after I was about to look away. There we are, folks. Herald is almost complete. Only one piece is missing. Can you guess? Oh, this is amazing to me. I have not seen one of these things in person in well over 20 years. Now then, let's see. Yeah, that's what I did, and his ginger hair is cool, and a strand of hair matches the little ones on Slappy. I've been planning a body for my clown one, but I don't know how to make one. I'm trying to get my uncle to make one. Well, the first thing you'll need is 2 different kinds of cloth. Well, actually not. You just need some fabric, you just need a needle and thread, and a little bit of patience. Because, well, I speak from experience, as yours Ghoulie actually rebuilt one of my puppets. I don't know if you're familiar with my little friend Chappie here, but I basically rebuilt this guy from the head down. Originally, he was missing his lower jaw, so I made a new one using Sculpey. It's a type of modeling clay, if you're not familiar. Then I just kind of painted it to match the rest of the head as closely as I could. The hands I also made out of Sculpey or polymer clay, I forget which one it was. And for the body, I based this off the body of, let me see, yeah, you can just about make him out in the video feed, but I based Chappie's body off of this Jerry Mahoney back here. Let's see, OMG, I've seen him before. He's so cool, from the 1930s. Yep, but do you know what this particular puppet was originally called? While I wait for your reply, I shall go put Chappie back on the shelf. Thank you. No, you're welcome. There we are. Now, while I await your response to if you know what that puppet originally was called, I'm going to see about trying to attach the head. Alright, to attach the head, use 2 twist ties to secure head to neck area. Strip each wire and sew in place on left and right side of the... Oh! Okay. Let's see. You're that good at making the mouth that I thought it was the original. I don't know what it was called, maybe Charlie McCarthy, and I remember you explaining why you named him Chappie. Well, I appreciate that. But what he was originally called, if my research is correct, that little goofball was sold as a Dapper Dan. That would have been, like you said, back during about the 1930s. So for the next part here, my goodness, he has a giant head compared to his body. No offense, Harold, but wow, it's a sizable coconut you got there. I mean, look at the head to body ratio on this guy. No, you don't. Don't be shy. Come on now. Harold. His head's about the same size as his body. I think what I'm going to do, instead of doing what the instructions say, is I'm going to twist tie these 2 ends together. pretty sure that's what my mother and I did all those years ago when we made the only other one that I've ever had. Oh. The top of the body just came undone. It's alright, it's alright. I can do it again. Harold, for being like that, you're going to sit on your own head. Okay. 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 Now then, let's try this one more time. Stay. And now the head's starting to come untied. Oh, Harold, you are starting to annoy me. There we are. Now let's try that again. When I build him, is it the end of the stream? Well, that was my initial intention. Because honestly, this stream, as the title suggests, was literally a surprise. I wasn't intending to stream at all today. Oh, and the body is coming undone again as well. Son of a gun. Apparently Harold doesn't want to be built. Like it or not, Harold, you're going to be built today. Okay. Now let's try this again. Mr. Snood says, don't worry, I'm still watching, and I'm still grateful for that. Come on now. The head and the body do not want to be joined for some reason. They will be. Mark my words, they will be. You never know, that pumpkin could be the exact one you lost 20 years ago. It'll be a mystery forever, talking about the one on the shelf. Oh, that one. Seems a possibility. Now let's see. Go ahead and straighten your arms out like that. Well, he doesn't want to sit very well. And his head just came detached. Okay. You know what, Harold? You're starting to piss me off a little bit. Okay, we're going to put Harold's head over there. And I guess we're going to... Yep, the extra twist tie came off with the head. I think it's because you don't find... Hold on. I think it's because you don't find duplicates usually, and your parents maybe donated it, and there was no chance you found a duplicate, so I think that's the exact one. Well, there are duplicates out there in the wild. It's just, a lot of the times, people either hold on to them for nostalgia's sake, or they'll put them up on the internet for, like on eBay or something. Or, as happens in most cases, just over the years, they get worn down, broken, in some cases destroyed. Maybe they get left in a hot attic and the foam melts or something. And they just get thrown away. Many possibilities for what happened. And for what happens to these things. Now, Harold, since you're being such a butt right now, you get to sit on yourself and think about what you've done. And I'm not going to let that get to me. I'm seething right now, but I'm not going to let it show more than that, because the twist tie for the body came loose again. And one of the arms just came off. Okay. I can kind of see why they don't make these things anymore. This was fun initially, but now it's growing tiresome. Okay, the arm is now re-secured. As for why I don't ask my parents and show them the pumpkin, well, I can't ask my mother because, regretfully, she passed away 15 years ago. And my father, I don't talk to him. Long and short of the story as to why I don't talk to my father anymore. Let's just say he likes to drink, and when he drinks, he becomes an angry person. And after spending 20 years of my life living with said drunk, angry person, I don't want anything to do with him. sorry for your loss. My mum died when I was 7, and my dad doesn't care about me. You're not alone. Well, life sure happens, doesn't it there, Snurd? And I'm sorry for your loss. I was about 19 or 20 when my mother passed away. Actually, no, it's about... see, she passed away in 2010. It is now 2025. About 20, almost 21. I don't know why I'm doing the Oktoberfest voice while I'm talking about that, but yeah, I was about almost 21 when she, passed away. Okay, now back to focusing on our pumpkin so-called friend here. I'm going to go back to the instructions and actually do what they say. What will I do for my 1K special? An excellent question. Probably celebrate. But back into character. Before the 1,000 subscribable special, it'll be something definitely, hopefully entertaining. Now let's see for the arms and legs. To attach the head, use 2 twist ties to secure the head to the neck area. Strip each tie and sew in place on the left and right side of the head. Okay. And there went my camera flickering again for some odd reason. If you ever reach 1,000 subscribers, Mr. Snurd, what do you plan to do? Mr. Snurd says they saw the camera flicker white. That is the exact thing that I saw on my recording setup over there. Scissors. And snip. And then, as before, I'll just eyeball it this time. Down to there. I would celebrate and do a 5-hour compilation of my best moments. It's not a bad idea. And don't worry, I'm not going to steal it. I do actually have an idea for my 1,000 subscriber special. but I'm keeping it under wraps for now. Wait, did I say 100 or 1,000? Regardless, my 1,000 subscriber special. Alright. Now just one more, and I can begin the attachment of the head according to the instructions. Because apparently that's the only way that the Sun Hill Pumpkin Man wants to go together. So these over here, like that. Ta-da. Okay, so now how to attach the head to the body, especially when the head is as big as the body itself. So first things first, go ahead and hook the twist tie through the head, like so. And to make for dang sure that it's not going to come off, let me double check the directions again. Okay. By the way, the coupon short, I agree, because you should have gotten all of it, but one was missing. Oh, the Wendy's, what was it, a Boo book, where someone stole one of the coupons before they even gave it to me. Yes, I'm still a bit bitter about that, a bit salty, as y'all like to say nowadays. Because, I mean, I spent the $1. Why did they give me, like, 75 cents out of the whole $1? But whatever. So now, hey Raggedy Ann, you hold on to that for me. Thank you. For this next bit, I think I have to lay him down on the floor. So we just go around this way and bump, knock the chair out of the way. Don't mind me, folks. I'm going to be down here on the floor attaching a head. Oh, just a little bit. Don't worry, folks. I am still here. Oh, okay, I am still in frame. Okay, good, good, good. Right, now Raggedy Ann. That, thank you. She's such a good sport, folks. Let's hear it. Let's hear it for old Raggedy Ann. Yay! Woo! Let's see. Unfortunately, my Danny O'Day has a crack in its cheek. Well, if I may remind you that poor post-mortem Snurd up there has a big old crack that's going from here up past his nose and down here along the side of his neck. So, I understand how it kind of sucks when that happens. But, you know, when plastic like that hits a certain age, it doesn't hold up as well as it should. Let's go ahead and put a second one. Right about there. And then, ha! Okay, there's one side of his head attached. Can I please? Oh, the crack in Mortimer Snurd's mouth and neck. I keep almost forgetting to call you post-mortimer. You don't mind, do you? Nah, it's okay. Let me just fish out my phone and get the flashlight app going so it'll be a bit easier to see. Now, oop, too high. No, that was just in frame. Trying to angle it. The crack in the neck is just right there. So hard to get the right angle on it. Oh, there you go. You can see it right there. And it runs up along the side of his lip right there. And it's almost made it all the way up to the nose at this point. Actually, no, oh, wow. Okay, he has cracks on both sides of his nose now. The other one's very hair thin, so you're probably not going to see it. But like right here. Anyway. Seems post-mortem is not long for this world after all. I'm still going to rebuild him. I have the technology, the patience, and the know-how. No. Leave the Bluetooth connected. Flashlight is what I wanted to turn off. Get you back up on that shelf. There. Turn your head just a bit. we're on to the last zip tie. And then, hopefully, finally, the Sunhill Pumpkin Man will be complete. Yeah. That's it. That's it. There we go. Just gotta tie off that end of the zip tie, twist tie. Now gently we pick him up. Ah, shite. Well, he's almost done. Friggin' fragum. Hold on again, folks. I'll look at your comment in a second there, Mr. Snerd. I just have to fix this. Okay, pause there for a moment so I can check the chat again. My favorite in your collection is either that Raggedy Ann or the one from Night of the Living Dummy. There's the one with the big blue eye. Oh, yes, Richard Phipps, as I have named him. Yes, he is a rather fun piece in the collection. Give me a moment. After being crouched down like that and then standing up real quick, I tend to get just a little bit lightheaded. Comes with the territory of being over 6 feet tall, unfortunately. Whew. Okay, back down we go. Alright. Now, again, we have the Sun Hill Pumpkin Man. Complete. Alright, now, let's go ahead and put this old fella in the chair as he's supposed to be. There we have it, folks. My friend, the Sun Hill Pumpkin Man from 1995. Say hello, Pumpkin Man. Hello, Pumpkin Man. You know, you have a bit of a speech impediment. Yes, well, my mouth isn't actually like, an actual mouth. It's just printed on. That's fair, that's fair. Yeah, if anything, I would say the one mistake I made was putting polyfill in the head. I should have used a much lighter material, because it's a heavy head he's got there. He just likes to flop around. Alright, come on. Okay. So there you have it, folks. From 1995, the Pumpkin Man, the 6-foot-tall Pumpkin Man, made by Sun Hill Industries. I think I already said that. See, Mr. Snerd says they might do a face reveal on their channel, but they don't know. Well, it's up to you, really, Mr. Snerd. Personally, I did a face reveal years ago. I was worried about doing it at first, but then I was doing one of those weird stop-motion animations that I did, and I just put myself in front of the camera being all weird. And then, that was it. My face was on the internet for all to see, and I just kind of ran with it. But if that's not your thing, don't worry about it. But yeah, aside from a few hurdles, I just spat on his leg. Sorry there, Mr. Pumpkin Man. That was honestly rather fun. At least it'll seem fun looking back on it. Your posture is terrible. Not that mine's much better. No you don't. Why are you trying to sit all sassy? Just sit up. You goofy gourd man. Okay, there. The only way I can get him to sit up is if he's doing a sassy like, hey. But there we go. We have my friend all pieced together and ready for the season. Can I gently get that arm? No. I'm sitting just fine. Don't you dare fall over now. Ta-da! This is probably going to be a mistake, but Do y'all remember Frosty? I know it's way early in the season, and I know they're already putting out decorations for that season, but roll with me for a second. Harold the Pumpkin Man was a jolly, happy soul, with a carved pumpkin for a grinning face, and 2 eyes that were black as coal. And they say once they put that hat upon his head, nothing. Ah well. I'm actually glad for that. Because Harold here... Harold here could have turned out a lot worse. There's a whole story about a different Harold. One which I'm going to read for the second time on this stream. Gotta find it real quick. There he is. Quickly wipe my nose because it's starting to drip. Alright. So to finish off the stream, I'm going to be reading the story Harold from Scary Stories 3, More Tales to Chill Your Bones, collected from folklore and retold by Alvin Schwartz from the Scary Stories Treasury, which was released in... Come on, when was this made? 2013, so 12 years ago. When it got hot in the valley, Thomas and Alfred drove their cows to a cool green pasture in the mountains to graze. Usually they stayed there with the cows for 2 months. Then they brought them down into the valley again. The work was easy enough, but it was boring. All day the 2 men tended their cows. At night they went back to the tiny hut where they lived. They ate supper and worked in the garden and went to sleep. It was always the same. Then Thomas had an idea that changed everything. "Let's make a doll the size of a man," he said. "It would be fun to make, and we could put it in the garden to scare away the birds." "It should look like Harold," Alfred said. Harold was a farmer they both hated. They made the doll out of sacks stuffed with straw. They gave it a pointy nose like Harold's and tiny eyes like his. Then they added dark hair and a twisted frown. Of course, they also gave it Harold's name. Each morning, on their way to the pasture, they tied Harold to a pole in the garden to scare away the birds. Each night they brought him inside so that he wouldn't get ruined if it rained. When they were feeling playful, they would talk to him. One of them would say, "How are the vegetables growing today, Harold?" And the other, making believe he was Harold, would say in a crazy voice, "Very slowly." And the 2 of them would laugh, but not Harold. Whenever something went wrong, they took it out on Harold. They would curse at him, kick him, punch him. Sometimes one of them would take the food they were eating, which they were both sick of, and smear it on the doll's face. "How do you like that stew, Harold?" he would ask. "Well, you better eat it, or else." And the 2 would laugh. One night, after Thomas had wiped Harold's face with food, Harold grunted. "Did you hear that?" Alfred asked. "It was Harold," Thomas said. "I was watching him when it happened. I can't believe it." "Maybe, how could he grunt?" Alfred asked. "He's just a sack of straw. It's not possible." "Let's throw him in the fire," said Thomas, "and that will be that." "Let's not do anything stupid," said Alfred. "We don't know what's going on. When we move the cows down, we'll leave him behind. For now, let's just keep an eye on him." So they left Harold sitting in a corner of the hut. They didn't talk to him or take him outside anymore. Now and then the doll grunted, but that was all. After a few days, they decided that there was nothing to be afraid of. Maybe a mouse or some insects had gotten inside of Harold and were making those sounds. So Thomas and Alfred went back to their old ways. Each morning they put Harold in the garden, and each night they brought him back into the hut. When they were feeling playful, they joked with him. When they felt mean, they treated him as badly as ever. One night, Alfred noticed something that frightened him. Harold is growing, he said. I was thinking the same thing, Alfred said. Thomas said. I'm getting the names mixed up already. Maybe it's just our imagination, Alfred replied. We've been up on this mountain for too long. The next morning, while they were eating, Harold stood up and walked out of the hut. He climbed up on the roof and trotted back and forth like a horse on its hind legs, approximately like this. All day and night he trotted like that. In the morning, Harold climbed down and stood in a far corner of the pasture. The men had no idea what he would do next. They were afraid. They decided to take the cows down into the valley that same day. When they left, Harold was nowhere in sight. They felt as if they had escaped a great danger and began joking and singing. But when they had only gone a mile or two, they realized they had forgotten to bring the milking stools. Neither one wanted to go back for them, but the stools would cost a lot to replace. There is really nothing to be afraid of, they told one another. After all, what could a doll do? Yeah, Harold, what could a doll do? They drew straws to see which one would go back. It was Thomas. I'll catch up with you, he said, and Alfred walked on toward the valley. When Alfred came to a rise in the path, he looked back for Thomas. He did not see him anywhere, but he did see Harold. The doll was on the roof of the hut again, and as Alfred watched, Harold kneeled and stretched out a bloody skin to dry in the sun. So our friend Harold here could have turned out like that Harold there. But thankfully, this guy's just a little bit of a slumpy goof, as it goes, you know. I don't see how you can sit like that, Harold. Just doing that hurt my back a little bit. All right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, the stream has come to its ultimate conclusion. I just want to give a big thank you to each and every single one of you all out there watching. I do truly and greatly appreciate it, as does Harold, I think. And I just realized he's staring at the camera. Maybe I do want to keep an eye on this guy. But anyway, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen here today. Granted, it wasn't the most thrilling or enthralling of videos or streams that I've done, but just the same, I hope you enjoyed yourselves. And with all of that out of the way, this is your old pal Oxleymations saying, viewers beware, and subscribe if you dare. Oh, hold on, we got something from Mr. Snerd. If you're not doing anything, or if you're bored. Well, I am hungry, if you heard that gurgling just now. I skipped out on breakfast to do this. Still kind of weird that he's legitimately just staring straight into the camera. Or at least he's giving it the old side eye. Alright, but anyway, I really do need to wrap it up because I gotta go get myself something to eat. Take care, everyone. And Mr. Snerd and everyone else watching, I hope you all have a good day. Alright, stop streaming.